So this is A Star in Her Eyes. It's Cavemanon's other game, besides the demo for I Wanna Hug That Gator. Which I'm not going to be playing the demo for that game. I'm going to be waiting for the full game to come out so I can go into it completely blind. And I'm going to be trying to get the worst ending first here, with the good ending last. Alright, today's the day. After an eternity of rehearsing, mental preparation, and accepting the possibility of being shot down, I'll tell her. Here, in the quiet food court, late in the evening in the St. May's Pillock Hill Mall. Ah, she's an e-girl with a galaxy theme. Kinda reminds me of something you would see on Neopets, honestly. The mood and setting was absolutely like I had envisioned. I've known Lyra for a few years now. We go to the same college, we're in 4 different programs. The specifics of her field were on a need-to-know basis, but the gist of it was that she'd be working with the government. She still talked about her casework. As long as I kept my mouth shut, I'd be okay. If you tell anyone this stuff, they'd stick a spook squad in your ass so fast and turn your ass into gravel and foundation. I should be a bit more cautious for my life, but I think our friendship is genuine. After all, she likes me enough to tell me to begin with. I just realized she's clearly an alien, and she has a t-shirt with a flying saucer on it that says, "I believe in myself." Plus, I was looking into work with the government too, but in a more general research lab, especially with the major in theoretical physics I was pursuing. I met Lyra in the school library, looking through old historical reports, and really hit it off. I'd always been partial to conspiracy theories since I was in elementary school, from things like alien life being covered up to mass mind control experiments. It's great to hear about these sorts of things from the other side of the glass, so to speak, and in truth, it's pretty calming to have some peace of mind about these things. Everyone thinks we're an item now, since we hang out so often. I've been meaning to actually ask her out, but even though we know each other so well, damned nerves keep me babbling like an idiot every time I try. But tonight, that's gonna change. School had ended hours ago, and with the weekend ahead, I thought this would be the best way to kick it off. And sitting right next to the star-covered girl, it really was. Hey, quit screen peeking. Don't need to cheat to beat you. For the first time, I was winning. High-end sound effects coming from my favorite new handheld. Her antennae twitch competitively, and the dual screens flash as tiny 3D models raced on fancy carts through silly-looking tracks. Oh, they're playing Mario Kart. We'd been competing since classes ended, even playing on the bus ride to the mall. And while Lyra consistently maintained the lead, the borderline unfair AI always caught up and beat both of us. But this time, I was ahead in first place thanks to random stage hazards. At least until the same hazard sent me hurtling off the course. The bigger they are, no doubt she's loving this. The harder they... Fuck me! Never mind. From the mini-map, I'm guessing she took an orbital terrapin drop and got knocked into last place next to me. Fucking lousy AI. The robots race across the finish line, and we both receive a DNF for the course. So it's like a rock dude who's in love with a star girl. That's pretty cute. That was okay. She's trying to act nonchalant, but I can tell Lyra had fun despite yet another loss. So, we're both losers then? I still beat you, you know. But you didn't win. Her expression flattens, and I can see her twitch ever so slightly. I take it she doesn't get teased very often, though that doesn't exactly bode well for my plans this evening. I still have to think of how to word this, so she'll actually be receptive. Is her love life as casual as a game of condiment cart, or should I be more official? Condiment cart? We might as well be dating, but I'd rather not ruin what we have by messing this up. I suppose now is as good a time. It's why I invited her here after all. What are you looking at? I only now notice that I've spaced out, staring blankly towards a woman's lingerie boutique on the other end of the mall. Lyra's eyes followed mine, and she seems to be conflicted. No doubt she's drawing assumptions about me right now. Maybe this was a mistake. Don't get the wrong idea. I was just lost in thought, you know? Like how you're so deep in thought that your sight glosses over and now you're in your head trying to figure things out and I had to try and put them in order. I totally wasn't thinking about you and those things and I mean... Her snort cuts me off and I finally realize what I was saying. Breathe, dude. Breathe. She's still giggling to herself while I try to unwind my twisted up nerves. Okay, so, you got something on your mind then, Claudehead? Come on, you stupid stone-headed idiot. Focus. You practice this. Just tell her. Think it through with extra care or speak from the heart. Which is the wrong thing to do? It's not immediately apparent. Can I save? No, there is no save. Okay, Speak from the heart could be the wrong thing. Actually, Lyra, I've been wanting to ask you something. She pauses at the change in my tone and closes her game. Sure. So we've known each other for ages, been through a lot of heavy stuff, like that time with your on-the-field poison extraction lab with the scorpion, and... Sorry, I mean... And I've been thinking about how we've been through a whole lot so far. I was thinking that it might be pertinent to hang out a bit more. Like at the mall here. They have some airsoft attractions that'd be good practical use and good practice if either of us were to take up hunting. Hunting is also a decent way for certain friend groups to bond, and that might also then be something to consider. You're losing me a bit. Just say it. What I'm trying to say is, Lyra, is that I'd like it if we were more than just friends. Tact is a tool for the weak. Even with my sudden disregard for subtlety, it takes a second for Lyra to process the information. I catch a hint of a blush, and antenna twitches. A good sign? That's real sweet of you, Claudius. So, should we get something to eat before it gets any later? I think we might be a bit past that point. All the stores around us are already closed. Oh, crap. Sorry, I kept us so long by playing the game. Don't worry about it. It was a really fun game. So, then, what now? Let's hit up my place and order some pizza. That sound like a plan? Not like we have any other option, honestly. Yeah, I'm down. Let's get going, then. We'll order pizza on the way. I'm actually doing it. I'm going to Lyra's place for a dinner date of sorts. Oh god, I hope I don't lose my marbles and make a fool of myself. The trip to Lyra's place didn't take that long, maybe 30 minutes at most. Lyra ordered us a fairly large stuffed crust pizza, half pepperoni, half ham and pineapple. The pineapple half was for Lyra, of course, though I wouldn't mind giving it a try. Still not exactly a fan of having fruit with my pizza. By the time we arrive at Lyra's dorm, there should only be 10 minutes left before the pizza's delivered, which is good because I'm honestly starving and all that walking really made me all the hungrier. We could have gotten in faster, but Lyra insisted I cover my face and torso with my jacket while she guided me around by both of my wrists. Something to do about the no boys policy. Well, here we are, home sweet home. Hey, Lyra, you're sure it's okay for me to be here? I mean, these are the girl dorms. Oh, it's fine. The other sneak boyfriend's in all the time. As long as we don't go around making concert-level noises, the on-site guard shouldn't notice. Besides, it's not like we're gonna be doing anything that rowdy. Yeah. I can't help but wonder if I now count as one of the snuck-in boyfriends. And how many of those guys have gotten kicked out or worse because of the shockingly tight security. I feel her let go of my wrists, followed by the sound of multiple metallic locks clicking nearby. I take it as my cue that I can finally ditch the jacket, peeling the concealing garment off. Just a moment, Claudehead. You stay right here. What? I don't think I should be standing here alone. I look around at the barren hallway, a part of me worried I'll be caught and tossed out immediately. It'll be fine. I got a plan. Lyra's quick to sprint into her room and back out again with something in her hands. She's holding a small whiteboard and some string, and she finishes writing on it with a cheer. And perfect. The makeshift sign is hung around my neck, and I look down to read it. Art project. Do not touch. This is monumentally demeaning. Shh. I just want to change first, okay? Ugh, fine. I'll be just a moment, okay? Stand perfectly still and pray some overweight hall monitor on steroids doesn't throw me out the nearest window for being in the girls' dorm? Yeah, sure. Lyra grins as I lock myself in place. She re-enters her room, leaving me alone in the hallway and in my headspace. Nothing better to do now than just think. Okay, you can come in now. Finally. Felt like I was standing here for an eternity. Right. I nudge the door open and nearly fumble on the white shag rug from what I see. Like what you see, statue boy? Honestly, I feel like Cavemanon could easily make, like, a Monster High line of, like, dress-up dolls for all ages, and it would sell super good. Wow. I'm starstruck as I take in Lyra in her pristine white dress. Come on already, say something. I'm sorry, just trying to find the right words right now. And not say the wrong ones that would make her think I'm a creep. What, cat got your tongue or something? Or something, just, wow, Lyra, you look beautiful. But why change this late? Aw, thanks. You're always wearing your Sunday best. It'd make me feel out of place in my own place. Now get your granite ass in here already. I kick shut the door behind me, not letting her figure leave my sight. Alright, come in, have a seat on the couch. Her dorm is a bit more upscale than the one I can afford, but it's still a pretty small place. I take a seat as instructed and scan the posters on her wall. Wow, I didn't know you were into all these boy bands. Marshall, Startup Boys, 4 = M cubed. And also, ooh, the. I'm not. School thing. I thought you were studying to apply for a government job. I am. What do boy bands have to do with that? What don't they? Is anything real anymore? Hey, if the music's good, what's the difference to you? Fair point. Lyra opens her mini fridge and retrieves a wine bottle. Want any? You're allowed to have that? She cocks a sly eyebrow at me. No thanks. Soda, then? Sure. 1 aspartame cola coming up. 1 aspartame cola coming up. She tosses me a chilled can of store-brand soda and then slumps on the couch next to me with her glass. Man, though, I got a lot of cool projects in the works. Yeah? Yeah. Can't talk about them yet, though. Even to you. Which is, yeah, it sucks. 'Cause it's so great, it's not even funny. Lots of craftsmanship going into it. Oh, you know it. This is my best work yet. My mentor even said I would be the one to document it all once we're done. Ooh, I can't wait to give it a really cool title. Sounds like you're gainfully employed already. It's a weird system they got in place here. I'm basically graduated and employed already if it goes well. I feel something under my leg. Hang on, I think I sat on something. I get up for a second. Oh, it's one of those dancing robot dogs. Oh no, sorry, I didn't mean to sit on your stuff. Hang on, I'll... Relax, Claudius, these things are real tough. I fiddle with the device a bit with my free hand. Yeah, love this cute little guy. I remember these. I thought about getting one myself some time ago. Yeah, that was from an op some time ago to distract kids from the dog shortage. Dog shortage? I think it was also the first time I got to use a code name, too. Sombrero Galaxy. Yeah, crazy code name, I know. I'm sorry, what was that about a dog shortage again? Actually, got it. Lyra shifts towards me. I want to try something. Remember what I once told you, how I can't talk about the finer details of my work without putting you in danger of getting blackbagged? Yeah, pretty clearly, as a matter of fact. Well, I think I have an idea on how to avoid that. Lyra smiles pretty mischievously as she takes a swig of her wine. How about I use our tactical codes? Come again? Don't worry. This way no one will pick this up if they're listening. Wait. Give me just a second here. I went over Lyra's words carefully. It wasn't entirely clear what she wanted to tell me, but that was probably for the better. Yet at the same time, there was a message there. I just had to decipher it. Before I could, however, Lyra said something else that caught me off guard. Her finger jabs at one of the posters. So, Deimos there. A massive meteor shower happened after a new crater formed. Lyra was now smiling even wider than before. It was obvious she was having a great time teasing me with her cryptic words. But I'm not going to just give up and not try to understand what she's saying. My mom didn't raise a quitter. And at the same time, with Phobos, several comets passed over it, visible from both hemispheres. Okay, wait, Phobos and Deimos are the moons of Mars. I think? So these moons, these celestial bodies have managed to have an exponential growth in their gravitational pull, and our astronomers think it's related to another space program trying to collect more meteorites. Lyra looks at me, her eyes glittering with glee. And I think I have enough context clues to puzzle this out. Okay, piece by piece then. The moons are the boy bands, that's obvious. Gravitational forces increasing isn't an actual possibility, so that's metaphorical for material growth of some kind. That just leaves the use of comets and meteors. I think it's something like... I don't really get it, but I'll nod along. Or, Lyra's new agenda is kidnapping civilians and replacing them with replicants to sow dissent among the populations to distract them from financial abnormalities. So this is obviously the wrong option, so I'm picking this one. What? So that's why KFJ was taken out. All the faked videos and then the bureaucratic cover-up for several decades make sense now, and then the subsequent airplanings and the strings of weird discrepancies? I never said anything like that. And when their physiognomic profiles don't match, it was all the body doubles acting in their stead. That would explain all of the backpedaling on the policies and also account for the patterns of the clusters of missing people concentrating on nondescript regions. Alright, at this point you're just getting carried away. And then the ethical weapons research leads that just happen to be on the same road at the same time as the... You done? I hold in place. The anxious feeling I might have jumped the gun there seeps in. Good. Oh my god, Claudius. I knew you were dense, but come on. You really think after all we've been through that I'd just start doing whatever it was you were saying? Why did I even bother trying to tell you if you're just gonna accuse me of something? Oops. A pair of soft hands grab hold of my blinded face, and a soft fabric brushes over my seared eyes carefully. How the heck did you get that from what I said? Sheesh, that wasn't a difficult cipher to solve, and you still mucked that up. Once I can see again, I get a face full of Lyra's cute but hurtful pouty face. Sorry. Her pout only intensifies. Look, I know you aren't the type to do something like that. Sorry, there's a reason I'm going for physics and not astronomy. Her lips quiver, and Lyra has to cover her mouth as her laughter starts to spill over her wine-covered lips. God, Claudius, next time I'll use a simpler code, okay? Before I can really finish forming my thoughts, there's a knock on the door. Oh, finally! Lyra gets up and motions for me to stay put before opening the door enough for her to slip through and close it behind her without her visitor seeing me. A moment later, she re-enters with the large pizza we'd ordered before. Oh, I'd forgotten about our order. Lyra sets the box open on her chair in front of us. I'm normally not one for greasy food, but pizza's always been a soft spot of mine. Alright, now it's a real dinner date. Been wanting to try this stuffed crust junk for a while. Lyra hands me a paper plate and goes for a slice from the box. I'd seen a few commercials about it before, yeah. Something about eating the slices backwards. I think it sounds a bit messy. I pick up a few slices myself. Oh, grow up. Life's all about trying these new things. So? Yeah, it's good. You should try this. A drop of sauce drips from the slice onto the couch just an inch away from her dress. Whoops. I think I'll stick to eating it the normal way. You're worried about getting red on red? Come on now. You know me, always a stickler for routine. I take my first slice of my cheesy guilty pleasure and bite in. It's as good as ever. Dinner date's going good so far. I immediately bit my tongue, remembering the two of us. Is there an us? Or is there only a deaf-mute slab of stone, unable to read between the lines? I flubbed my confession earlier tonight pretty hard. So, enjoying your regularly ingested pizza? The hint of smugness in her words pulls me back to the here and now. She coyly waves her antenna back and forth as though to taunt me. The way you keep glancing at me made me think you were about to go on some tangent like you normally do about different kinds of pizza, or maybe you just so happened to get lost in thought while looking my way. I realize that my eyes have been darting in her general direction for some time, and before I can even help it, they avert down to where the sign used to hang around my neck. About that sign. Will I need it every time? Not that I mind being your art project. A cute snicker brings my gaze back up at her. If I were to take up sculpting, you would make a fine project. My heart skips a beat. Wait, was it? Her expression, though. I think she's flirting? I think? Another heartbeat, and I feel my inside shudder. I want to make sure. You never did give me an answer earlier. What? I just said that... I meant about what I said at the mall. The space-skinned girl sets aside her half-finished slice atop our cardboard tabletop. A blush slowly spreads across her cheeks as her grease-covered fingers fidget with each other. Out of habit, I hand her one of the brown napkins, which she accepts with gusto to wring and dry her fingers while deep in thought. Her thoughts are pretty visible, changing constantly like a meteor shower of emotions racing across her face. A part of me wants to change the subject, simply so she doesn't look so distressed over this. Then again, when will I ever have a chance like this again? Lyra, Sorry, you go ahead. You sure? Yeah, I'd like to hear you out first. Okay, Claudehead, this is your only retry. I wanted to make it more clear, since I've had more time to organize my thoughts. I've really been meaning to say... My thoughts are scrambling themselves again. 1,000 different ways to change the subject and go on another tangent, each as tempting as the last, like a defense mechanism to protect myself from saying something stupid. I can't just take the easy way out again. Lyra, after so much time we spent together, I've been really wanting to say... I really like you, Lyra. I said it. I went ahead and said the first part. Lyra's expression flares up into a cascade of color in response. I can do this. And I want to say... Crap, why can't this be as simple as my work? Everything has rules in physics. Everything fits, everything has a specific place and role. There's none of this uncertainty or anxiety. Get your mind away from this already. Damn it. The words are there, but no matter what I try, they won't come out. It's okay, Claudius. I said yes earlier, didn't I? I like you, too. Don't worry about saying something a bit awkward. I'm still struggling to find the words, but I take Lyra's hands. Duh. Maybe this is enough to convey what I feel, though. I feel her fingers tighten over mine. Thank her. Damn my feeble nerves. Thank you, Lyra. Her hand shifts against mine, before leaving it alone entirely. A quiet breath escapes her lips as I let go of her hands. I guess that's that, then. There's the barest hint of bitterness in her voice. All I can do is nod. I mean, she did say yes already. I don't think it would be worth it to push my luck anymore tonight. We resume our deliciously unhealthy dinner in peaceful silence. As I polish off another slice, I notice Lyra's leg an inch closer than it was before. I mentally shrug, continuing to enjoy the meal. It's by the time our hands collide over the single last slice that I notice that one of us has been moving closer to the other. Or maybe it was both of us. Our hands hover over the final slice, and I find my gaze tracing up from her knight-like skin of her wrist, along her svelte arm and neck, and lock into place on her starlit eyes. Our movements are stilted, minute, as I find myself drawn closer and closer to her face, and particularly her pursed lips. Seconds felt like millennia as those lips of hers drew me in. In that delay of time, there was a flicker of Lyra's eyes. Sadly, time felt like it needed to make up for its unintended delay, as in a flash of motion and before our lips could meet, my face is swatted with a handful of lukewarm cheese, tomato paste, and dough. Oh, shit, sorry. I didn't mean... I was going for the slice and you were staring, and I thought you were going over that like how we play games and you were always trying to win, and... It was one of the rare times I've heard her ramble like that. In any other situation, I probably would have laughed at the sheer absurdity of it all, but I could only grumble at the situation as a whole, at my own cowardice and stupidity. Lyra didn't seem to take my response well, her clean hand settling on my shoulder. Maybe I shouldn't have even tried, Lyra. Don't say that. Lyra recomposes herself a bit and exhales slowly. Hey, I'm going out for a smoke. Come on. She leads me by the hand outside to the small balcony outside the dorm room, grabbing a pack of Newports on the way out. By now it's getting pretty cold. Lyra leans over the rail and lights a cigarette up. She offers the box to me, and I wave it away politely. Suit yourself. I lean against the rail myself. Haven't noticed before, but this late at night, Lyra starts to blend in with the night sky in a truly magnificent way. I should tell her that. Lyra. The lights in the hall shut off without warning. Campus lights out. Oh no, is it that late already? Damn it, lost track of time. Good job, Claudius. You've completely blown your opportunity. Will you be able to get back fine? Yes, my own dorm isn't that far. Lyra takes my hands again. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Yeah, I'll be alright. I give a reassuring smile and let go. We could stop by the campus cafe. That sounds fun. I raise my arms to move in for a hug. Wait, she's not raising her own arms. Is this okay? My mind races through a million calculations before my arm gently pats Lyra's shoulder. By the time my autopilot wears off, I'm already 2 flights of stairs down. How I managed to sneak past the guard, I don't know. Maybe he just looked at me and let me go. Feels more like I'm dragging my sorry self home instead of just walking. I had a plan, and I had prepared and rehearsed and readied myself, only to let myself down because I got nervous. As I stand in front of my own room's door, I take a moment to replay everything in my head. It's okay, Claudius. I said yes earlier, didn't I? I like you, too. Maybe it wasn't a complete failure. And there's still tomorrow. I'll power through my nervousness tomorrow. And I mean, come on. One look in her eyes and I can't help but clam up. Yeah, you can try again at the cafe tomorrow and really tell her your actual feelings. Hopefully. Okay, I think that's the bad ending. I don't know if it's the worst ending, though. This time going for the good ending. Skipping. Think it through with extra care. Actually, Lyra, I'd been wanting to ask you something. She pauses at the change in my tone and closes her game. Sure. So I was thinking that in regards to how we're always hanging out together, always making lovely conversation and hanging out, it occurred to me that we're like a few steps away from being partners. Or more accurately, like we're some buddy cops where I'm the stone-faced by-the-books guy and you're the loose cannon fighting crime together to great commercial success. Commercial success also signifies a good deal of merchandising insofar as it goes that those productions are starting to dwindle in popularity. There's still a lot of fun to be found in the genre. People buy these figures and such merchandise and display their tacit approval for these relations as close as they are, such admirable camaraderie put to screen. It stands to reason, then, that a more enhanced form of camaraderie would boost the figure sales and a greater appreciation from the masses, as it's also something people at large desire for themselves. And that includes me, and hopefully you as well. Right? I'm gonna need the facility's top cryptologist to figure out what you just said. Oops. I think I get it, though. Okay, in that case, I'm gonna go back. Beat from the heart. Okay, next up it's her CIA job. I don't really get it, but I'll nod along. I get the gist that she's proud of whatever she's working on. Wow, that sounds out of this world, Lyra. She groans and rolls her eyes at my horrible wordplay. I mean it, though. I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. Aw, thanks. I'm surprised you got some of that. I was worried it all just went over your head. I freeze. I think Lyra notices my hesitation and smirks. Well, maybe some of it did. Either way, I'm excited that your project is going well. Even if you can't tell me about it just yet. Lyra pauses to think to herself. Well, I'd love to tell you all about it, but... Lyra looks around her room before she leans close to my face. You don't know who may be listening. Lyra's face is intense at first, and she maintains it for a few seconds, her stare piercing right into my eyes. But as the seconds pass by, her eyes soften and her lips begin to quiver. It's not long before she's covering her mouth with her hand in order to stifle back some laughter. Before I can really finish forming my thoughts, there's a knock on the door. Oh, finally. Lyra gets up and motions for me to stay before opening the door enough for her to slip through and close behind her without the visitor seeing me. Okay, that's the pizza. Skipping. Keep trying. I don't care about sounding awkward. Lyra likes me. That knowledge gives me the strength to power through my own worries at last. Love will enter cloaked in friendship's name. I finally said it. It feels like a heavy weight has lifted from my shoulders. Lyra, though. What? Damn it. I mean, I want to be more than just friends, Lyra. You're funny and a bit esoteric, yet always fun to be around. Not to mention drop-dead gorgeous. And I want to spend even more time with you. I want to be your boyfriend. I can feel her pulse rising in my hand, her fingers trying to choke the blood out of my stone palms. Her smile is tiny, nervous but clearly there, and happy. Her free hand covers her lips and I can make out some of her mutterings. Come again? Lyra simply shakes her head and smiles. A brilliantly bright smile that spreads from cheek to cheek. You finally said it. Yeah. And now it's your turn. Isn't it obvious, Clodhead? Well... The pause throws her off. I'd still like to hear it, too. Fine. Lyra inches closer, and her fingers loosen from around my knuckles a bit. Instead, her delicate fingers brush a bit of my hair out of the way. I can't believe you're really making me say this. Yes, I'll be your girlfriend. Hearing her say it so easily, they ring sincerely in my ears and leave me stunned for a few seconds as those words of hers sink in. Seconds later, Lyra herself begins to show signs of the gravitas of her words towards me. It's subtle at first, Lyra's cosmic tone cheeks forming what almost looks like miniature pink nebulae. With every passing second, the color in her face expands, first to the rest of her cheeks and then to the rest of her face. She then shyly looks away from me, opting instead to look down at her feet, the blush on her features growing ever brighter with every passing second. I'm concerned at first, wondering if I somehow did this whole thing wrong. Not like I have much experience when it comes to romance in the first place. Lyra, Before I can finish my words, Lyra raises her eyes to meet mine and takes a step forward with such speed that I'm unable to fully grasp it. Aww, they kiss. She then grabs a hold of my head, and less than a second later, our lips interlock in what I can only describe as the most passionate kiss I've ever received. Not that there's much to really brag about in that department. Everything happens so suddenly that I'm barely able to fully register it. Instinctually, I freeze up like a stone. Not sure if it's my response to the suddenness, but I practically turn into a gratine nonetheless. I think they meant granite. Lyra's response right after kissing me is to giggle at my reaction. The sound of her giggles, like beautiful glass chimes in the wind, practically turn my stone heart into molten slag. A cascade of stars and distant galaxies start radiating from her brilliantly. Beautiful patterns of supernovae dancing and entwining against themselves as though hundreds of millions of years passed in that moment. But when I find myself able to move again, it's only been a few seconds here on Earth. The first thing I do is smile at Lyra, who responds by once more giggling. By that reaction, you weren't expecting that? I mean, not really. Well, you better get used to it, because you'll be getting a lot more of those from now on, lover boy. Lyra finishes her words with another giggle, only this time it's equal parts sultry and teasing. I feel my own face start to burn at hearing those words. I'm not actually sure if my blush can actually show in my granite skin, but I'm sure it would be nice if it did. Hey, I want to try something again. Sure. The, observatory gets awfully quiet out here. Me being the only night shift astronomer and all, I was thinking, why don't you help me chart the stars tonight? So, it's already really late, and I don't want you to have to travel through the night and possibly get assaulted or something like that, so why don't you spend the night here? Lyra's coded message catches me a bit off guard at first, but I'm soon able to decipher it without any trouble. It seems like I'm starting to get good at it. Well, I did do a stint of stargazing in the Scout, so I think I'm somewhat qualified to join you. I mean, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Let's watch some stars tonight, maybe even pick out some new constellations. Lyra blushes brilliantly at my response. I think I may have been a little too forward. Although the way she hugs me after, maybe just the right amount? My first night together with my best friend, who's now my girlfriend. What a way to kick off this new phase of our relationship. Would you like to play again? No, I think that's pretty much all there is to see from this one, probably. We have a Twitter you can check out for news and updates on our latest game. Would you like to check it out? Sure. Cool.